So, JP, Zach, y'all ready to get serious about doing this thing?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, we are, with Zach and JP's Burnout Hijinks.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. Nerds at Night. Hey, what up, nerds? We're nerds, I guess. We wear glasses. Certified.
Is that what makes a nerd now?
I don't fucking know, but we're going to talk about Lord of the Rings this week. Specifically, Fellowship. Got these Hobbit-sized books here that Zach said he got. Where'd you say you got these things?
I fucking ordered them online.
Okay, he said he ordered them online.
Yeah,
and
I
then,
saw a hardcover and I was like, fuck yeah. And I didn't look. I just saw the art on them and I'm like, I want these ones. And
Yeah.
They came in and they're Hobbit size.
Yeah, they're teeny tiny book. They're so like you open them and the reading is hard. Oh God, ugh. I can't even. Well,
You
never
have
mind.
glasses,
Actually,
too.
like my glasses are. I saw it perfectly. Like I can read the back of this book perfectly. The English-speaking world is divided into those who have read The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and those who are going to read them. Saturday Times, Sunday. Shit. Okay, my readings. Okay. See, that wasn't on
good.
me.
That was good.
See, I could read a book. Check it out, Greg. So that means you're going to read them. Or Sergeant Major Winklebaum. We'll cut that. Don't worry about it. We'll cut that. Let me read the other thriving review from The Observer. I don't know. I wonder if it's the Fayetteville Observer. Probably. An extraordinary book. End it there. Pretty good review, But no, there it goes on. It details with stupendous theme. Am I peeking the mic at all? Am I good? Okay, that's fine. We're good. It leads us through a succession of strange and astounding episodes.
All right, stop.
So-
Now do the rest as Skeletor.
Some of them magnificent. In a region where everything is invented. Forest, moor, river, wilderness, town, and the races which inhabit them. Whoa. The Observer. Reporting from Skeletor, reporting from Snake Mountain. Is that where Skeletor is? Is that where I'm from? Beastman. Beastman. No, you do Beastman. Come on, you're going to put me on the spot. Right?
You know why? Because you deserve it.
Well, I don't remember how Beastman sounds. So anyways. But let's read the last review. There's 3 reviews on here. This is great content.
This is amazing.
Can you do this one as Jean-Luc Picard?
Yes. No, wait. Maybe. It might say, my Jean-Luc Picard might come out a little. See, it's coming out of Sean Connery without me. And Jean-Luc Picard is just Sean. No, it's always turns into Sean Connery. And I think I'm going to do it as Sean Connery, to be honest. Fuck me. Here's my Jean-Luc Picard impression is just make it so. That's my entire Jean-Luc Picard impression. Like, it's, yeah.
What about doing it as Gibney?
Gibney? Who's Gibney?
Or whatever the dwarf's name is.
Gimli. Oh shit. Okay. So Sergeant Major Winklebaum has seen the movies, and I think that he realized that Gimli was the comic relief character. He was like, silly dwarf man, him and Hobbit. That was a great love story. Chick movie, by the way. Gimli and Legolas made out. But here's the last one. Let's see. We'll read this one as Saruman. Let's do Saruman. I can do Saruman. It's Sir Christopher Lee. R.I.P. Shout out to the GOAT.
To have created so enthralling an epic romance with its own mythology, with such diversity of scene and character, such imaginative invention and description, and such supernatural meaning underlying the wealth of incident, is a most remarkable feat.
The Guardian. Cool. All right.
Good job, John.
That's my Christopher.
Good job.
Yeah. No, I love my Christopher Lee voice. It's a fun one. So
That's really good. Do you think he does that, or do you think that's like his actual voice?
I think that was his actual
Alright.
fucking...
he used that voice while he stabbed people in the back. Just
Have you ever heard a man die,
Yeah,
Peter?
that's one of my
Just
favorite
stabbed
stories,
him. He
dude.
stabbed you.
Okay, so have you ever heard that story, Sergeant Major Winklebaum? Okay, so apparently on set, Christopher Lee came up. He was like, "All right, when you get stabbed in the back, because he's a little New Zealand guy. He's like, all right, you're gonna get
Peter
stabbed in the
Jackson.
back, and you're gonna go ah." He was like,
Peter Jackson. A man does not scream when he is stabbed in the back.
His
Believe me,
blood-curdling sound.
I know.
it's just like because he was in Secret Service, the English, Secret Service in World War II. So he murdered Nazis. He's heard, he's heard
He
horrible
stabbed
people get stabbed in the back. So he was like,
No, shut that shit down. I shall not scream like a bitch. You're not going to give me one of those Wilhelm screams.
like,
Fun fact with Christopher Lee, too.
2 of them, actually. First of all, he's the only one in the cast that ever even met Tolkien.
that's yeah.
He
It was in
knew
World
who
War
he
II.
was.
Yeah.
And then second, he was the first person cast for the movie.
That's not. I think didn't he want to be Gandalf? I think he wanted to be
I
Gandalf.
don't know if it was Gandalf. He
You
wanted to be
shall
something.
not pass.
Oh, that was. I need to use that bit, dude. Do it because like Christopher Lee. I just have to explain to people. You know, Christopher Lee wanted to play Gandalf. Oh, we might be writing a joke here. We'll write that down for later. I don't have a pen.
Don't give him a
But when did you first? So you read the books before movies?
No,
Nope.
movies first.
Okay, so
Movies
I'm
first.
opposite. I actually, yeah. My mom was, she was a flower child, so she was, gave me. She started with her reading The Hobbit to me, and then she was like, "I'm tired," and I got it. I was
Yeah.
tired too. I was like, "Fuck it, mom, stop reading it to me." And then we found out I'm ADHD.
Get the
What?
fuck
Right?
outta here.
God, who would have thought? But so then we got me the books on tape, and so I just devoured them. Like I would listen to books on tape, and then like listen to I was probably like 10, maybe 8, between 8 to 10.
Yeah,
'Cause-
makes sense for the time.
Yeah.
The movies came out. I think the first one was 01.
Yeah, because I listened to the books about 2 years before Lord of the Rings. I tried to talk to Lord of the Rings to people. It was my secret, like nobody knows what this is. Oh, it was precious to me. It was my precious. It was
Hit him
it
with
was.
that filthy hobbit.
It was filthy hobbits, like filthy normies don't understand Lord of the Rings. They'll never get it. It's my fandom. They won't understand. But then
hit him with the mine.
I remember building the Battle of Helm's Deep with my Legos.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because we were talking about like you were like, Helm's Deep was 2 hours. No, it's fucking 3. Like, come on. But
No, seriously. In the books, it happened, yes, but not to the scale. that it
yeah,
did
I
in the
mean,
movie.
they played it
was
up a little bit.
crazy.
It was also ended way cooler in the movies, in the books. I
In the
feel like
books.
I feel weren't there? I don't remember.
All right, but
We're
either way,
we're talking
we're
about
on-
Fellowship
yeah.
today. Yeah, we're also boring Sergeant Major. But so yeah, but then the movies came out, and like in my head, every character sounded like this guy Robert Ingalls who read the book. So
he,
everybody
audio
like, and he
books,
and he did all the voices for all the characters. Fucking awesome,
Was
so,
he good?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Like, I mean, he had a nasally English voice, so everybody kind of had a nasal English voice. But Frodo had always had a fr. He always rolled that fr. Frodo, like he would always, roll. But like, and then I remember he had a really strong voice for Aragorn. And Viggo Mortensen had the weak voice for Aragorn, and it really upset me. I was like, Aragorn not my Aragorn, But then
He was a weak pick too.
the movie, but then he was really good
We don't
though.
want him, but we got him.
He was so
we're gonna use
good.
him. And
Yeah.
He ended up being the best fucking
He was,
thing
yeah,
on set.
he was a fantastic Aragorn. Like I feel like he played Aragorn so well with his face and his movements. Like, because I mean, didn't he do like a whole bunch of like training and shit?
his
Yeah.
swordplay. The
Yeah.
guy training everybody on swords said he was the best student he's ever had.
I mean, because like, yeah, but then he opened his mouth and he opened his mouth and he was like, "Hello, I am Aragorn, son of Arathorn. I'm gonna go kiss Liv Tyler." Like,
There's
whatever.
a scene at the end of Fellowship where one of the orcs throws a dagger at Viggo.
Yeah.
And he actually
Yeah, he didn't even
he was
actually-
supposed to miss, and the guy actually threw it perfectly, and Viggo fucking deflected it.
Nice.
Thank God he refused to use an aluminum or plastic sword. He
Yeah.
wanted to carry a real one.
Yeah.
If he wasn't carrying it, he probably would have died.
Yeah.
But he deflected the
Yeah.
fucking dagger perfectly. with
Yeah,
it.
dude. And we can talk about his toe. Well, we can talk about his toes when we get to Two Towers. But like, cause let's start.
Yeah, let's go from the
Let's
beginning.
start at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, shall we? So, a lot of slurs being thrown around in the first chapter. They call Frodo
Queer a
queer
lot.
constantly. They're like, this Frodo, he's quite queer. He's one of them. No, actually, no. He gives him a cool Southern voice, like them brandy bucks are quite queer, Like, but he was a brandy buck from Buckland. Like, he was adopted by Bilbo, in his 30s, and they were like, "That's queer." Or them queer folks, they're adopting at 30s. That's what queer folks do. That's real queer. Bilbo went off when he was 50.
He's
Also
not
queer.
exaggerating. They said queer.
This
at
is
least 60
this is
times.
almost verbatim dialogue. But yeah, and then like there's just like there's some stuff like that I think is fun that the movies kind of leave out. Like they kind of downplay the Sackville Bagginses and how just shitty and slimy they are. Like I love Lobelia Baggins so much so that I forgot her name because I was like, I'm never gonna remember that Sackville Baggins
And here
bitch's
you are
first name.
remembering
Yeah,
her
I wrote it down so I could remember Lobelia and Otho.
Well, in the books,
yeah.
they even mention like how good of like history keepers hobbits were.
Yeah.
And they never mentioned it in the movies.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Which is what I love about Tolkien. It was like he was just a giant nerd. It was like, here's my whole language. I'm gonna write history too. I love history. I'll make some history. Yeah, make some fucking history. So like, you know, nerds are gonna love lore in like 50 years. It's like,
You're crazy,
sure enough.
Tolkien. No
But,
one will ever.
But it's fun because you know, Frodo adopted Bilbo. Nope, other way around.
whoa.
Yeah, Bilbo adopted Frodo after Frodo's dad drowned in the river. He drowned in the Brandywine River, which I think is fun because I think that's the same river that Smeagol drowned Deagle in, or I could be mistaken, or strangled Deagle
Holy
in.
shit.
Yeah, I could be mistaken. Which is like this whole thing was why I think Frodo like resonates with Smeagol later on. Yeah, because I heard that Frodo Drogo drowned in the river, or the fucking queer folk hobbitses don't belong on the river. No, hobbits belong. Like hobbits, like this is what. Okay, we can talk about hobbits for a minute, like because hobbits are dope. Like hobbits are, they are ground people. They're basically like dirty fucking hippies. They're like. No, they're like you. They're like water.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're like water, disgusting. Keep it away from me. You know.
Think about it. Like even an average-sized fish is half their size. They
Exactly.
shouldn't
Yeah,
be
I
in the
mean,
water.
because hobbits are. I think they downplay them a little bit in the movies. I think hobbits. No, I don't know. I feel like they're.
Hobbits
No,
are
they might be
taller than
bigger.
dwarves.
They might be taller than the movies, or maybe
Hobbits
I don't
are
remember.
taller than dwarves.
Yeah, because I think they just made Gimli bigger. But hobbits, like, you know, they like dirt. They like farming. They like hanging out and doing nothing. You know, they're rural America.
They hang out with questionable people like
Yeah.
Gandalf.
Well, I guess their thing. Well, they don't. That's the thing. When Gandalf rolls up, that's why Bilbo was such a queer folk.
There's only like 3 or 4
That dang old wizard show up, and then fire happened, and I'm like, get him out of here, get off my lawn, wizard. And then, you know, Gandalf rolls up. Ian McKellen, great fucking
Perfect.
choice for the
You
movie
can,
in the
you
movie.
can.
Yeah. I would like to see the world where those roles were reversed, and Ian McKellen was Saruman, and Christopher Lee was
Christopher
Gandalf.
could have nailed Gandalf.
You shall not
I
pass.
don't
Yeah,
think
he-
Ian could have played him though.
Yeah, you would have had to go for Patrick Stewart for that. But, you know, Ian McKellen was great as Gandalf. You know, he's, fool of a took, you know, like, dude.
Just the hatred for him.
I remember, dude, just like him rolling up with that. Like, I love the fire. I did never imagine the dragon firework that they made that scene so much cooler. Because the fucking first chapter of The Hobbit is this boring lore shit that I'm talking about. You know, like
Prequel, pre-chapter.
but Sergeant Major Ringelbaum has fallen asleep 3 times when I brought up. I think Sackville. I've trained him, so if I say Sackville Baggins,
Snaps
look,
out.
he's out. God, he's out again. Sorry,
Nailed it.
but like the fireworks scene, like. Such a great introduction to fucking Took, Mary, you know, Mary and Pippin. Dude, I remember as a kid, I would always quote, it comes in pints. Like, didn't have any idea what the fuck
We're
that
back
meant.
to hobbits,
Like,
man. You know how big a fucking pint is?
Yeah, oh fuck, yeah, dude. Like, I never thought about it too. Like, just like being a kid, I'm like, I don't drink, you know, whatever. Like, I don't know the concept of liters. I'm American, you know, so like for me,
That'd be like us
it's
drinking
like,
like a gallon of beer.
yeah, like this
Just
is like
like, oh,
their
it comes in
normal,
pints.
yeah. Sorry, that was the mic, but yeah, like I don't know. I love that whole that they set up that fucking 11th birthday. 11st.
Puts on the ring, disappears.
God damn
everybody
it.
Freaks the fuck out, and what happens?
What the fuck?
Gandalf is like, I need to look into
Who the
this.
fuck says 11st? Is that some Hobbit bullshit?
That's Hobbit
11st,
bullshit.
yes. We had Bilbo's 11st birthday. Like all hobbits are just like rednecks. Like, but like
a little bit. Yeah.
they're country folk. You know, they're
I wish
simple.
you were wrong, but
They're-
you're
I'm not wrong.
You're
Like
not.
they're rednecks who sit there, they smoke tobacco and weed all day, and then they're just like.
We're on their farms.
I do think it is a misnomer that hobbits smoked weed. They smoked tobacco. Like I think it was tobacco
I
that
think
they
they
smoked,
smoked
but I think they played up the smoking in the movies.
No,
so
I
it's
think
like,
they definitely ran. Dude, they live in the ground in a hole.
yeah, yeah.
But not a normal hole.
I mean, yeah, it would be. Yeah, dank is in the name of holes, but like no, they don't. The hobbits don't live in dank holes. That's the thing. Hobbits live in
cozy.
exquisite. Like I mean, you've seen the movies. Fantastic holes. I love hobbit holes. Yeah, just get in there. They're no stick. Yeah, they're tight, nice. You know,
Yeah, keep going.
a grown man could get stuck in there.
They can.
I saw
If you're not
Gandalf.
careful, you're gonna
All
get
right,
a
we're
couple
gonna
kids in there
we're gonna
too.
cut that out. Cut that
We ain't cutting shit.
out. But let's see.
But no,
But yeah.
on his 11st birthday,
11st birthday,
Pops the
Bilbo
ring
pops
on,
that ring on,
disappears.
disappears like an idiot.
Gandalf immediately is like, I need to look into this shit.
Yeah, again, I love like that's the thing too with the movies. They kind of like, how long do you think it was, Sergeant Major, that Gandalf that party happened and then the whole movie started? Like how long did that scene?
So from when
like a time
Gandalf
frame?
saw the ring to him returning, saying, "Hey, you need to take this ring."
How long did that feel like in the movie? Do you think?
Well, they went to some like fucking fantasy forest, and it was like where the elves lived. So I can't imagine it was just a hop, skip.
No, before that.
So
It was way before that.
Yeah.
Number of months, you were close. It was actually like 19 years.
Yeah. Yeah, because Bilbo's 71st birthday, Frodo was 41, I think. Yeah, he was 41. 31. 31.
Yeah.
And then he was 50 when he left Hobbiton.
Yeah, so 19.
Yeah, so it was a long ass fucking time. Like Gandalf was like,
The
fuck,
movie made it seem like
This
it was
is
a couple
taking
of
a
days.
long time to discover things.
like Bill, like that's why it was so weird to them. It was like imagine being 50 and then being like, I'm gonna leave everything behind and go drop this ring in a mountain. You know what I mean? Like
To them, that was like half their life.
I mean,
So
because Bilbo, like fucking 61 years earlier, Bilbo ran away, and well, no, I guess it's got to add some more years to that. You know, a
gonna
while
pause here
back,
and let
Bilbo,
John do math.
Bilbo ran away and was like, "I'm middle aged." His midlife crisis was going and killing a dragon. You know, was like going and being a burglar. Like that's what he signed up for. But we'll get in the Hobbit. We'll get to that sometime because there's those. Like I love that
the reason we're starting with Fellowship and not The Hobbit is because the book and the movies are two.
because
completely
this is
different
the
things.
Hobbit book. Behold how small. Behold how quaint. Behold how adorable. This is the Fellowship book. Now, this was made into 3 fucking movies that all have cuts equal to the length of all of those movies. But
That's the reason we're starting with Fellowship.
but like it's crazy. Like even with like the fucking full on versions of those, how much shit there's just cut out. Like the Barrow-wights. Like the Barrow-wights are pivotal to the bringing down of the Lich King.
They did cut a few things that were very pivotal, especially things like Tom Bomb.
He wasn't pivotal.
But you could cut Tom Bomb.
Oh,
Because you
Tom
really need
Bombadil,
Tom
Tom
Bombadil, for anybody who doesn't know their
Bombadillo.
lore.
No, they cut Tom Bombadil because I feel like he was the self-insert character. Like
no,
J.R.
it could be cut.
Tolkien was like, I've got a hot wife. Me and my hot wife just want to live out in the woods and fucking,
The other
dance
thing
in the
that
trees.
Could have happened with the books with how much fucking music there is in it.
Oh yeah, dude.
They could have just made it a musical.
That bro, that dude was the songwritingest motherfucker, and they would like. Could you imagine like being a woman and then your husband comes to you is like, "My dear, I've written you a song in Elvish," and she's like, "Fuck, dude." Like,
Well,
that.
it was
Like
at
I
that
imagine
point
they
where he was
boned
like, I
so
need to
hard.
write a
Like they had
book.
such great like post World War II sex. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like
Making boomers.
we killed Hitler. You know what I mean? Like we did all this great shit, and I'm teaching on the side. You know, like the fuck, dude.
All right,
Like
we're doing it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, after 19 years of going to study for the fucking ring, he finds out
Yeah.
what it is, and then he returns to them.
yeah, and he's like,
Is it secret? Is it safe?
he says the iconic line. He says that in the book. He does, but it's way less dramatic. Like that is a scary fucking scene. Because Ian McKellen's head is so big when they fucking it's just like, whoa, fuck,
You
get him
gotta
out of
remember,
here.
hobbits are like fucking 4 feet tall. He is 7 feet tall.
I love hobbits, dude. They're so fucking cool. They got such gross. I wanted hobbit feet when I was a kid, like just because I was like, that's why I walked around barefoot all the time. Like
That's
I was
funny.
like,
I
I'm
did
gonna
too,
get my
but not for
hobbit
that
feet.
reason.
Yeah. Well, we
But,
talk about that on our,
Yeah, and then he says, "Hey Frodo, I need you to do me a favor."
He's like, I need you to go
I need you
take this to Rivendell. He only was supposed to take it to Rivendell.
Yes.
That was the initial setup too.
Him and
I-
Sam.
yeah,
were
him and-
originally it.
Yeah, well, Sam wasn't supposed to be there either. The fucking stupid ass Gamgee, best friends. They weren't gay. No, those. I'm gonna say it here first. Those allegations and rumors that Sam and Frodo were gay, unfounded. Frodo was asexual.
How controversial.
Sam loved Rosie like a motherfucker. That dude was like he was doing like old school masculinity, like where it's like he was Saint George. He was like, I'm gonna go slay a fucking dragon, Rosie, for you.
I did it for you.
And literally, he didn't kill a dragon. He, kind of just like, didn't do anything really. Like he almost killed that spider.
Hey, he carried the carrier of the
Yeah,
ring.
like he did. I'll carry you, Mister. Like they kissed only like 5 times, I think. But that was because it was mainly. You do that. You kiss your friend.
Do you
like.
count it as kissing, or how many times he wanted to kiss him?
But no, I think in the book there are several. He kissed him on his brow. Not like
Those are
gay,
hobbits, though.
straight though.
Goes back to the dirty hippie.
Straight hobbits. Now Merry and Pippin were fucking. Those
yeah.
two,
Yeah,
those two were
100%.
gay as shit.
Fool of a took.
Like, even it went so gay that they even took the actors. Like, they still hang out. They podcast.
Have you-
Shout
I
out
was about to
to
say,
no,
you,
they're funny. I like them. They're goofballs.
But yeah,
But yeah, no, I like
hit the road.
They hit the road, Jack, and they didn't want to come. Well,
No,
they hit the road and all immediately got homesick. I love the Hobbits. Like,
Yeah.
they're just like, I resonate with that so
This
bad.
sucks, man. We've walked for like
But-
2 months.
Dude, and that's why they leave out the Baggins, the Zach, like I did what the movies did, and leave out the Sackville Bagginses, because the Sackville Bagginses are scheming, conniving motherfuckers. And when Frodo leaves, they're like, "We're gonna get that shit." They wanted Frodo's Hobbit hole,
Yeah,
like
and
they
they-
wanted it bad. They thought Bilbo had a fortune in there, and that will come back at the end, which is like was my biggest complaint with the movies. I remember talking to my mom about
How they just ended there.
yeah, but we'll get to there.
to it.
We'll get to it. Yeah, but yeah, there's just so much shit like on the road. Like they kind of just make it all ring wraiths when they had such a really like they had a whole RPG adventure before
Dude, the
like
fact that
RPGs
they
were a thing.
Skipped out on the fucking elves.
the first time they saw the elves.
Bro,
pissed me
they
off so
played
much.
what they play. I think they did that in the extended cut. I think it
They
was.
might have.
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen that one.
But
in a
dude,
while.
they did like beforehand, like before they even get to Rivendell, they have like a whole like Final Fantasy campaign, you know,
Yeah.
like or D&D campaign before D&D was a thing, you know, like they like in the movies they cut it down to ring wraiths, Bree, and then crossing the river to get to Rivendell. Oh, they did have Weathertop too, which is key iconic scene, great scene in the movie. But they cut out the Barrow Wights, which is one that bothers me because like. They get stuck by Old Man Willow. I think Old Man Willow is in the extended cut, but they just kind of get out of it
Like, oh,
somehow.
here he is.
Yeah. But like they get in like to the Barrow-wights, and the Barrow-wight sword is actually the sword that Merry uses to kill the Witch King. I said the Lich King earlier, but he kills. That's what he uses to kill the Witch King at the end because couldn't be killed by the blade because those were some like cursed Angmar blades or something like that from weird shit. But like they were like cursed swords basically. Like he used a cursed sword to help kill the Witch King. Like that's the only
thing
one.
that
Yeah.
would kill him.
And then the sword exploded, which was pretty dope.
Unless you watch the movies, then it was just no man can
Yeah.
kill me.
And he was like, "Well, I'm not a man either. I'm gay." You know. I'm a
First
bottom.
trans in Middle Earth.
Mary was the bottom. Mary was
Ooh,
definitely
that's-
the bottom.
yeah.
Nah.
Dude, I
nah.
think they both switched.
Pippin did so much. Oh no, Pippin could sing. So I
That's
don't
what
know.
I'm saying. I think
Mary
they
rode
both
out on a
switched.
horse. I don't know. I guess Mary does kind of give the butch vibes, so they're gay. I don't know. Well, that's beside the point. That's
Yeah,
whole
we'll get to
different.
that eventually.
But yeah, Barrow. I think they do cut out Barrow Wights because Barrow Wights lead to Tom Bombadil, like because it's just and Tom Bombadil, like we said, just a singing motherfucker. Like his whole thing could be a Disney. Like his whole scene could be a Disney musical.
So yeah, I saw the movies
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
When I read the books and hit that part, I'm like, who the fuck is this
Oh,
guy? They never
yeah.
even mentioned him.
When did you see did you ever see the rotoscope fucking Lord of the Rings movie,
Was
the
that
Fellowship
the
one? It's like
Animated one?
yeah, like
Yeah,
from like the
yeah.
70s. Yeah, that one was nuts. I think John Hurt played Aragorn in that.
Yeah, I saw that one like way after.
yeah.
like, only once.
Yeah, not good.
It's like
not-
you had the original Hobbit
Bad.
animated one, and then you
Yeah.
had that one, and you're like, how the fuck is this the same?
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah,
Hobbit one
dude.
was good.
Well, because that was Rankin Bass, so that was completely different. You know, that was
yeah,
completely
but
different.
still, how do you
company.
fuck it up that bad?
Rotoscope. Rotoscope's not good. Let's see. What do I have written? Yeah, Hobbit swords used to kill the Witch King. I wrote Lich King down. That's why I said it wrong. Oh yeah, but Tom Bombadil I think was a self-insert, like I said, for Tolkien. We'll leave that in.
4 out of 5.
That's pretty fucking awesome.
That was a good one. What, that Bert? Was it good? Was it
Oh,
good?
yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. we cut that.
I like how Greg's just shaking his head right now,
like,
holding up a
Jesus
sign
Christ.
saying, "Do not fucking burp into my mics."
I didn't. That's why I breathed away from the mic.
Into the other mic.
Ah, shit. I did it. I pointed it down. I'm sorry. Oh, it's fine. Okay.
So
Well,
this is why we beat John weekly.
I'll put on my
With the hood.
Yeah, but yeah. Let's see. And they cut out Glorfindel, and that was they replaced him with Liv Tyler.
Yes.
Yeah, they replaced him. Everything Liv Tyler did was supposed to be done by Glorfindel.
Sorry, allergies.
I'm sorry. They could have just had some cool big name guy. I know he only shows up for the one scene, but it's
It was a big scene.
yeah, it was dope. Like, god damn it, I want to see hot elf guy on the other side of the river. I don't want to see
That's
hot Liv Tyler on the other side of the
still
whip.
further on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah, because we skipped weather. We skipped Bree. Yeah. Let's get to Bree. Let's do like the movies did and get to Bree.
When they got there,
Yeah, there was like this whole down plot in the books too,
Yeah.
like of I can't remember the fucking guy's name.
dude, they hung out in Bree for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, like they were just like hanging out at that bar.
Partying, like,
Yeah,
oh, I missed home.
it's like, man,
We've
we
been
should,
gone for 2 months.
we
Let's
should
just
really
drink and get
wait
fucked.
for Gandalf, I guess. Blah, you know, what about second breakfast? You know, doing that whole shit.
Give it up at Hobbits, man. You say they don't.
And
smoke
meanwhile,
weed,
I
they
think
eat
this is the
9
point
breakfasts.
where behind the scenes. Oh no! In that 19 years, at some point, Gandalf and Aragorn had found Gollum and beat the shit out of him, and like, give us your lunch money. And he was like, I don't have any lunch money. I don't know where the ring is. I'm gonna give up my shit because Gollum got captured. He got away from them. And then went to Mordor like a dumbass. I was like, oh, hello, Sauron. I'm going to Dark
Like a
Lord.
dumbass. He went to their enemies. He knew what they were looking for. He's like, I need backup so these guys don't religiously beat the shit out of me every day.
But no, he Gollum hated everybody, but she like, I'm gonna hang out with this giant spider. I like her. She's my friend. Like he met Shelob. They hung out. Probably had sex. Ew, gross. Spider Gollum sex. Yuck. I mean,
It's been a while, huh, John?
I don't know. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings for a while.
You getting laid?
Yes. No, actually. Actually, no.
We'll leave that.
I had a brief experience with my wife the other night. It was pretty dope. The briefness was on me. That's fine. I hadn't been touched in a while. I exploded much like an Mountain Dew
Anyway.
at the end of the films. My Barrador did fucking, No, it was supposed to be at the end, just a little pre-jack. We'll move on from this at some point. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ.
You know me, man. I'll sit here and let you drown.
Please. They almost did on the Fairy Debris. This is super not interesting or funny, I think. We might cut this whole episode. It'll be cool. But yeah, but
Fun fact with the movie, when they were doing the fairy jump, I can't remember his name, Frodo, the actor, Elijah. He got a running head start. He didn't think he could jump that far.
Yeah.
Fucking cleared it.
Nice. They should have just got Merry and Pippin to do it with their homosexuality. Like once again, fairy tale. Sorry, but yeah, I love the ring wraith design in the movies. Fucking iconic. Like so iconic. It was on like the triple cover copy that I have somewhere in my house. It's there.
Of the book?
Yeah, of the books. It's all 3 books in one.
Yeah,
but it's
so
got
you have
like
the Bible one.
it's got the ring wraith silhouetted on the hill with the blue fucking moon behind it. It's dope. But dude, fucking
Nerd.
hey, shut up.
Nerds at Night, brought
Anyway,
to you by Zach and JP's Burnt Out
Zach
Hijinks.
Yeah, nerds. Oh fuck! It threw me off. Damn it! Oh, I forgot. Yeah, that's what we are. Yeah, no, this is literally fuck.
You're
We
killing
even
it.
threw up the. Yeah, but like, what are we talking about?
We're talking about Zach and JP's Burnt Out Hijinks.
Coming up next.
But no. So after...
Well, yeah, we'll get to. I think we'll
No,
get to
we're good,
Rivendell.
We're good.
We'll get to
Keep going, keep
let's
going. We're
let's
okay.
finish Bree and then we'll cut it there. I think that's a good.
You wanna stop at Bree?
Yeah, we'll stop at Bree. It's already 7:40.
Shit.
Yeah. It's the rambliness. That's what I'm saying. Fuck me, dude. I was like, we're
Okay,
supposed to.
so after they leave Bree...
After they leave Bree, but there's that whole incident with a fucking an Uruk-hai in the books. There's an Uruk-hai in Bree.
Yeah,
it sets up the Uruk-hai that Saruman has later, instead of him just being like. I love the way they showed it in the movies.
I was just going to say that.
But but it sets up because they were like, there's a guy with like big, he's just a big
Huge.
fucking huge man, and he's
an
like,
orc.
what the fuck's he doing there? And, what? But it was like a man. He was like, we thought it was an orc, but no, it was a man. But it turns out later on you discover it was an Uruk-hai that Saruman was, because Saruman's been playing the whole thing this whole time. He was already showing how dickish he was. He'd already done the whole.
I think that
lock
how they
Gandalf
did
up.
it in the book was excellent, but for the movie, how they showed off like the Uruk-hai and Sauron and all of them was so much better. Where it was like they needed to switch it. To the
Yeah, they
movies.
did. They showed him super fucking cool.
I
Like
think it was a much better idea. on
the
that.
visuals in those fucking movies, everything they did fucking paid
Considering
off.
it's early 2000s
Yeah.
too.
Dude, and then like
No CGI.
like after those movies, like elf shit in like just
In pop culture.
in pop culture became the way elf shit looked in that. Like if you play Oblivion
How it
for
should
5
be.
minutes, all elf armor is just the elf armor from
Yeah, that's how it
any
should
sort
be.
of demon armor is the fucking
This
orc
motherfucker
armor.
put elves on the map.
Yeah, dude. And Tolkien did all that shit. Just like I thought of this cool language. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it to these weird fey creatures from mythology. But
Tolkien, that seems crazy. Fuck,
Yeah.
you all write a history.
not as
about
crazy as check out this shit. I made up this shit called Weathertop. This fucking little hobbit's gonna get stabbed up there by these 9 guys. It's gonna be cool. They're gonna make a porn out of it in like fucking 80 years. It's pretty dope. I'm actually gonna be I rolled over in my gay grave visibly
gay?
when that
You
happened.
rolled over in
my
your
gay
gay?
grave. Yeah, yeah. It was a gay porn. Yeah, yeah. It was a gay
shit.
porn parody, of course. Because
Very violent. Too.
like I said, just the common consensus guy that Frodo's so gay, and that's just the movie. I just think that's that Return to the King scene. They lingered a little too long on the everybody. Yeah,
Everybody just being queer.
but yeah,
As
they
Tolkien
met
would describe.
Aragorn and Bree.
Yes, they did.
Skipped over that completely. Didn't trust him. Who's this Strider? They meet him as Strider, which is pretty cool because like you go through most of the first book with him as Strider. Like you don't even.
And Strider in the first book too.
Yeah,
he was
they-
completely like, I don't want to
Yeah.
lead these hobbits.
The
I
hobbits
don't want
just-
to be responsible
yeah.
for them.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, yeah, I'll do it, but like, like, fuck, they call him Strider up until the very end, and I don't remember if they did that in the movies. I can't remember if
I
they
don't
call
either.
him Strider, if they call him Aragorn. I
I've read the books more
should
recently
have
than
did
I've
my
seen the
homework.
movie.
They call him Strider
So they refer to him as Strider when they meet him in the bar.
in the bar. Okay, yeah, because then they know him. Like, 'cause that's how I remember the name Aragorn being weird. Like as a kid, I was just like, I like Strider better because I was like.
Because I'm an edgy teen lord.
I'm 7 and that Strider's cool. I don't remember. I'm getting younger as I was probably 8, 9. I don't remember how old I was. I need to.
When he was 4 years old, reading these books.
My mom wanted to get me into that. It was hard. I remember I had a copy of The Hobbit that had the scary, fucking horrifying goblin face of Smeagol on it, and it was gross. But yeah, they get to Weathertop and they get stabbed up by the Ringwraiths are pursuing them. They're hot.
That's another one. When no, that's further on in the book. Never mind.
Yeah, what?
When Frodo gets stabbed in the shoulder.
And that was by but that was in Moria. But you're thinking, but he gets stabbed. No, that is Weathertop because he gets stabbed in the shoulder and then the dagger bit goes in.
Yeah, and it gets
that's at
stuck into
Weathertop.
him.
Yeah,
That's
and then
another one of the time warp moments because
Yeah.
of how they filmed it. It looked like it just happened overnight. He just got sick. But
Yeah.
it took 17 days
Yeah, to
before
get
he was
from-
starting to like actually
Yeah, because
get fucked.
fucking Liv Tyler shows up and she's like, "Fly with me," and then
Yeah.
they just go all the way to the fucking thing where
then-
Glorfindel should show up.
G name, I can't remember her name. The elf, the female elf.
Galadriel.
Galadriel.
Yeah.
She was the one in the movie who sent the current down to take out the wraiths.
I thought that was Elrond in the movie.
In the books it was Elrond.
Yeah,
In the
'cause it
movie,
was-
it was her.
Because Glorfindel just stood up there and was like, "I got a fucking shiny sword." And
Yeah.
that's what. The lights. We don't like it. Because in my head, all the Ringwraiths talk like Gollum too. Like, also every single fucking thing that lived under the. I'm going to take my stance on this. We're going to cut
boy.
over here.
Here we go.
Everything that lived under the Misty Mountains spoke like Gollum. You can't tell me that was just not a regional dialect that everybody had there. Like all those goblins in The Hobbit. Oh, they all talk like this too.
I gotta see the
The
map to
Balrog.
confirm, but you're pretty close.
The
yeah.
Balrog that comes up later in the Mines of Moria.
He probably talk like this too. He's like, "Hey, I'm a Balrog. I'm going
Isn't
to kill
Rohan
you."
right there too? That's why I need the map.
No, yeah, it's under the Misty Mountains. But
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
what I'm
in
saying.
the like if you live in the Misty Mountains,
Oh, I thought you
that
said
deep.
everything from there
No,
south.
in the Misty Mountains. That's the Misty Mountain dialect. Anything that lives in the Misty Mountains
Talks like this, and you can't tell me
I thought you were saying south too. I'm like, dude, that means all the riders are Rohan.
No,
Just
they
riding
were
around
all.
like-
Those were all. I love the Riders of Rohan because they were just Vikings on horses. But
Yeah.
we can get to those when we get to the Two Towers in like fucking with the way we did it. 4 episodes from now at Nerds at Night. But
On
we'll
episode
come back.
63, we'll be done with Lord of the Rings.
When was 64? Like the.
This is one of the biggest IPs that you and me have in common.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
and I didn't even consider how much there would be to talk about when we got to it.
I
Like,
was surprised when you
yeah.
told me how long we've been rambling already.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll cut it there. Nerds at Night, and check us out on YouTube, now on Spotify also.
It means we're on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Pornhub. Man, we are out there.
But you need your credit card for all of them. And if you too can help, send your credit card information to me, John Paul Edmondson. Make sure you take a picture of the front, picture of the back. Give me the last 4 digits of your social, and then that'll be.
And kids, if you're listening and you do not have a credit card yet, all you got to do is go into your mom's purse, pull it
You know
out,
the Fortnite button?
take the
Come on, kids. Push the Fortnite button. No, I'm
and just
kidding.
take a picture of the front and the back of the card and her ID for us. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's it. Bye bye.
Have a wonderful time.
Goodbye. Have a beautiful time. Yeah. No. No, that was.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna talk way more about Lord of the Rings than I thought we were gonna.
Yeah.
I can't believe we didn't make it that far. You were
100% correct about that.
Yeah. No, there's lots of. It's a long.
Yeah, holy shit.
Barely got through 3/4 of the first movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And we skipped a bunch.
Willfully skipped a whole
Holy
lot.
shit.